The FDA has issued its new proposed rules requiring the country's fast food restaurants to add calorie counts to their menus. But is this really likely to alter what consumers buy and eat? Scholarly research so far has found little evidence of that. Brian Elbel of NYU School of Medicine is a leading authority in this field, and his research of inner-city populations found that menu labeling had no significant effect on purchasing behavior. We asked him for an update on his work and this national issue.
A fair number of people are seeing the calorie information in restaurants. Over half the people that walk into the restaurant are seeing it, which is a very good thing. But we also found that of the people who saw it, only about a quarter of those people actually use the information to influence their food choice. So this information is getting through to some people, but clearly not everyone. At the same time, we found that it's not tending to make a large influence on population health for the groups that we looked at, which were particularly low-income populations. So I'd say a couple things about the fact that it looks like labeling might not be influencing immediately food choice at the point of purchase in a large-scale way. I think that it's still a little too early to see the influence that labeling is going to have in the longer term. As more people see this information, more people observe this information, and it gets worked into the everyone's consciousness a little bit more. But I think it also tells us at the same time we can't set back and think that we have labeling and obesity is going to be solved now. And we're going to need to look at other solutions to influence obesity in a larger scale way and realize that we can't let the solutions rest with labeling alone. I think we know what needs to be done, we just don't always know how to get people over the edge of making these better or more informed choices. So I think it's going to take a lot of work about looking at, for obesity for example, what's the larger environment in which people are making these choices and how can we think about influencing that larger environment, and what is it about people's day-to-day lives that makes it difficult to make these sorts of more healthful choices, and how can we really zone in and influence those things. I would say behavioral economics tries to take a realistic look at how people make decisions and realizes that consumers are not always making choices that are in their long-term best interests, but in fact are influenced by what's around them, how you frame the choice to them, and how you present the choice to them. The influences on healthy eating, or oftentimes against healthy eating, are large, well-funded, and ubiquitous. Everywhere you turn, you're going to see another advertisement for another unhealthy product. So I think that behavioral economics can help influence healthy eating on the margins, but I don't think it's going to be the only thing that we need to turn to influence healthy eating in a larger scale way. And we're going to have to look at a lot of other tools and interventions to counterbalance all of the influences on healthy eating that are frankly a lot more negative. I think we also need to look at taxes and pricing changes for certain foods that aren't as healthful and see if those policies might have an influence on behavior as well. And the other thing that might be important to look at is marketing, particularly marketing to children, which we know could have a relatively large influence on their food choice. That aren't as